Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to pick up right where we left off in the last tutorial, and we're going to go ahead and start going through and make the beginning of our functional app. So we're going to base this app off of a tutorial I did for one of my classes last semester, where we were learning how to use Marvel App. And if you don't know much about Marvel App, it's a really cool prototyping tool that you can use. If you go to marvelapp.com, and this is one of my projects that I had. But if you go there, you can go through their tutorials, or you can look online and find things. But this is a really good way for non-programmers and designers to make functional prototypes without coding anything, and just to give this off to other people. I think a really good function of this is to design something in this and hand it off to your programmers and artists, mainly your programmers, and let them start making the app, which is kind of what we're doing today. So I can hit play on here, and I can show you kind of how this app will work. So as you can see here, we've got, I don't want to click on it because it will take me somewhere, but we've got an image here, we've got an image here, we've got an image there, we've got some text, we've got an image here that can that has functionality as well, and this is a button, and then this image up here says TEDx UGA is also a button. So if we hit these different things, they'll take us different places. Like that can take us to go buy a ticket, we can cancel it and go back. I think the TEDx one does the same thing. If you go Network Professionals, it will bring this up. I don't think I ever made that one work, but we can go back and we can hit play again to start it over. And then if we hit TEDx, we already did that one. Let me see if I can go back. And if I hit this button, it will come out, and then we can look at the team. And then that one will bring up images and a scrollable things. But we'll get to all of this. First thing we want to do is we want to lay out our home. This is going to be our home screen. And we're going to lay out our home screen for the next step. But first thing we need to do is, if you haven't already, go ahead and download the image assets for the project. They should be either on the website where you're watching this. There'll be a download link. If not, there will be a download. If you're looking at this on YouTube, it will be a download link down in the description below. Once you unpack that, you're going to have a lot of image assets, and also there should be a script folder and another link too. So this link will just be for the image assets. Now I'm going to walk you through what I do when I'm building apps. I'm going to go ahead and go to where I have. So far you will probably have more than this, but right now I've only got these. These are all the images that I'm using for my home screen. And some of these you'll see they're JPEGs, some of these are PNGs, and we can scroll through these and you can see that I divided these up into different images. This is going to be our menu. They also call this the hamburger button, depending on what you're using. And we're going to have our top image. You should see home screen top image, home screen middle image, home screen bottom image, and we've got our TEDx image at the top there. So one thing that you'll want to know about Unity is when you bring in these image assets, we're going to have to make them in the power of 2, and we want to do that before we go in. Now, what power of 2 means, I'm not going to go into too much depth with it, but Unity does really well if your images are in the power of 2, meaning they need to be 512 by 512, I think 1024 by 1024, 2048 by 2048, and so forth. So what I do is I'll take these and I'll take them in the Photoshop, and then I'll put them on a transparent square background, and I'll show you how to do this. By the way, you'll need to know a little bit of Photoshop for this. You don't need to know it, but you at least need to have Photoshop downloaded or have access to Photoshop. You don't necessarily have to use Photoshop. If you can follow along in another image editing program, the main thing is that we have a square image and the background is going to be transparent. We're going to save this out as a PNG. So let's go ahead and get to it. The first thing we want to do is before we can import these into Unity, we're just going to spend some time in Photoshop. So I'm going to start with my top image. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to open with Photoshop. And we see we've got this rectangular image. Now, don't worry if it looks a little pixelated. That's okay. I think the point of this app will still get across. And by the way, this is a good point to mention that you can follow along in your own app. You can make your own images and you can do your own functionality. You can do your own thing with it if you want. So you don't necessarily have to use these images, but if you want to follow along exactly, feel free to use these. So what I like to do is I like to bring up this image, and then I'll go up to image, Then I'm going to see the image size, okay? And we're going to look at it in pixels. So this is 1242 by 914. So we want to go the next size up for our images. And I believe that is 2048. So let's go ahead and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Let's go ahead and go to File, hit New, and we're going to make a custom image, okay? Let's see, these are my recent ones. I don't have any square ones. Well, there's a 1024 by 2024, but we really want the next one up, the 2048 by the 2048, right? So let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's go over here on the side. We're going to hit 2048 by 2048, and that's in pixels. The resolution is pixels per inch. That's okay. You can keep it that way. You can keep all this. I think 8-bit will be okay. It really depends on what the original image was, but we can always change that in a little bit. Background contents, we really want this to be, it doesn't matter because we're going to make it transparent. Let's go ahead and hit Create. It created a square image, and the next thing we want to do is we're going to want to erase this background. So over here, we're going to click on, we're going to, right here where this eraser is, we're going to right click on that, and we're going to do, I think it's background, magic erase, because I think that will do the whole thing. Yep, and it does the whole thing, and that's good. That's what we want. Now the next thing we do, go ahead and click up here on your arrow. We're going to click on the home screen map, and what I like to do is kind of bring it off a little bit, just like this. And I'm going to grab it, I'm going to drag it right over here, and now it's here. And it will kind of clip in place, but you might want to try to put it kind of in the middle of your document. Now, this might look a little strange, but if we did 2048 by 2048, because the image size of this was 12, I forget what it was, but it would have been too small for the image. And to show you, we can kind of go back and we can redo this. We can just kind of step backward here, and we can make the image size of this 1024 by 1024, hit OK, and I think this is going to be too small for our image. I've got to find the image. Where did it go? I think it's behind me there. Yeah, let's bring this back up. Where'd he go? Let's bring this guy back up, and we'll just grab him, right, and we'll drag him onto here if it will let me. It may not like it anymore. Yeah, so as you can see, that's, let me bring this up a little bit. You can see, guys, I dragged that, those two the background's too small. It doesn't fit the whole image, so you gotta make sure you're gonna fit the whole image. That's why you want to look at that image size. Okay, let's just go all the way back. Let's step backward. Okay, now we've got our 2048 by 2048 image, and we're going to do like we did before, and we're just going to drag this image right on top. Let me kind of line this back up for you guys and make sure it's kind of in the middle. Not a big deal if it's not in the middle, but I really like to try to have mine in the middle. So after you do that, the next thing you want to do is you want to save this out. So we go to File, Save As, and I'm going to call this home_screen top image. So home screen top image. Uh-oh, I didn't do underscore. Let's go back and do underscore with that. And then we're going to go PNG. And I want to make sure that I save it where I want to save it. So we're going to go back to, you can save this really anywhere, because as long as you know where it is later, but I did have my own folder. So I'm going to save it in my app assets folder. And then we're going to do that for each image. So you can kind of keep reusing this background. Well, you might. Well, it depends on how big the other images are. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do our middle image. I'm going to go ahead and open that up in Photoshop as well. And let's look at our image size. So it's about the same size. Not exactly the same, but it will work. We're going to hit OK on that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Well, first of all, I'm going to go back to this image, and I'm going to turn that layer off. You can also delete that layer if you want, not either way. And then I will bring this down a bit. I'm going to drag this one over. And let's do the same thing. Let's kind of put him in the middle. It kind of snaps there for you. And then we're going to hit File, Save As. And this will be our middle one. So I'm going to call this home_screen _middle_image. And we're going to make this a PNG. And I'm going to save it in the same folder. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing with my bottom image. So let's take the home screen bottom image in JPEG. Open with Photoshop, just like the other ones. And we'll go ahead. We're going to go back to that other image. We're going to hide it. Bring up home screen again. Kind of bring that down a bit and then drag him over. Do the same thing. Make sure he's kind of snapped in the middle. Looks good. File, Save As. And this is going to be home_screen, and you probably know where I'm going with this. Bottom, that's right, bottom_image. And we're going to make this guy a PNG as well. And we're going to, it's in our app assets here. That's good. And we're going to save. That's okay. Cool. And now we've got two smaller images. So what we'll do now is we're going to, let's do our TEDx PNG. Let's go to Open with Photoshop. We'll go to Image Size, and this one, so we can put this one on a, we can't put it on a 512 by 512 because the 689 here that you see for the width is a little, it's too big. So we're going to do the next one up, the 1024 by 1024. So hit OK. We'll go back to this guy. We're going to close that one. And we're going to go to Image, Size, and we're going to make this one, what again? That's right, 1024. Hit OK. Go back over to TEDx. Bring this guy down. Drag him over. Kind of put him in the middle. Okay. And we're going to go File, Save As. I'm going to call this TED_X. I'm going to do the capital T. And then we're going to make sure we're in App Assets. We are. And we're going to make this a PNG. Save that one. It already exists. Do you want to replace it? I kind of don't. I'm going to name it TEDx, and I'm going to go call it underscore. Since this is going to be in the top right of our app, we'll say top underscore right. I just didn't want to overwrite the original just in case I needed the original for some reason. Then we'll save that out. Be okay. And I think we have one more image, and that's the hamburger PNG. So open with Photoshop. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to look at its size, image size. And that's a 92 by 65. So we can actually put this on a 512. So we'll put this particular one on a 512 background. Okay. Let's go back to the Untitled. We'll turn off the TEDx, and we're going to go to Image Size. We'll make this one a 512 by 5. Oh nope, not 215. 512 by 512. Hit OK. Bring your hamburger down. Grab him, drag him on down, and it's hard to see, but he is there. And we're going to make him be as much in the middle as we can. That's about right. We're going to File, Save As. We're going to call this hamburger underscore top underscore left, because it's in the top left of our app. We're in App Assets. We're going to make this a PNG, and we're going to save. Okay. Okay. So let's go here. Now we've got all the images we need. This is the top left PNG. This is the home screen bottom PNG. This is the home screen top PNG, and this is the home screen middle PNG. And then we also have the TEDx top right. Okay. Now you might be saying, well, in the original app, we had this text. See, we've got text here, join the experience, network with professionals, learn to, but we're going to do that within Unity. We're not going to put those as part of our image, mainly because we start stretching text. Depending on what device you're on, it can look a little distorted. Now we're going to keep that in the TEDx UGA, but because it's got its own like look to it. But it might be good to do that in text later. But we can talk about that at another time. Okay, so now that you have these images here, we're going to go ahead and import these into Unity. Now you can import images into Unity a few different ways. I'll show you my favorite. My favorite is having Unity open over here, then opening up your Finder, and then well, first of all, let's go back to Unity. Before we want to do that, it's nice to go ahead and do some housekeeping here. You've got the scene here, so let's go ahead and let's right-click, create folder, and we're going to call this folder scenes. Now, we probably only have one scene in this app, but it's kind of nice to go ahead and we're going to drag. See what I'm doing? I'm grabbing that cancel. I'm grabbing this, and I'm going to drag that to my scene folder. And now I'm going to create a folder called images. Like so. And oh, wait a minute. I already had a folder called images. Delete. Because we already did that. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few different ways. Well, I'm going to show you my favorite way to bring in. Sorry, let's talk about that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to import our images into Unity. And as we've done before, let's go ahead and open up our image folder. And we've got these 3 images, but as you remember, we didn't do these in Power of 2. So the difference is these new ones will be Power of 2, and I'm going to show you how to set those up. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and scratch these, because these aren't going to be they're not going to be in my final app. So I'm going to delete these. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead, this main panel we had up here, let's go ahead, I'm going to Control, Command, and I'm going to go ahead and delete all these things. So we still have our main panel. Now go back down here to your project, and you see we don't have no images now, but we're about to import these images. So go ahead, you can do them one at a time, you can highlight the ones you want. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try to do them all at one time. So TEDx, top right is highlighted. And then we're going to home screen middle image. And what I'm doing, guys, I'm holding down Command, and then I'm clicking with my mouse so I can do more than one. Home screen top image, home screen middle image PNG, and then we're going to do the hamburger PNG, and then not the hamburger PNG, hamburger top left PNG. So these are the ones that you want, and then we're going to grab that, and I'm going to drag it right over here into my image folder. And it will take a second, and then it will process through. Okay, so now we have these 4 images. All right, and so yeah, so now you have these 4 images, and we're good to go. So that's it for this part of the tutorial. I'm going to continue this in the next video, and I'm going to show you how you continue processing your images. And then after I show you how to continue processing your images, we're going to take those images and we're going to start making those into clickable buttons with actions that they perform, okay? So thanks for watching, guys. Again, you can use any of your own images here. Just follow those steps. The main thing is you want to make sure you put it back on that square Power of 2 background that's transparent. And in the next video, we will show you how we can cut these images out and use them without having to use that whole square, okay? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.